Here now, founder and chief strategist of Third Degree Strategies, Max Burns. Max, it's good to see you. I'm wondering if the real losers in this strike are not going to be the UAW workers themselves.
Well, right now, the real losers are the people who are paying essentially to subsidize corporate greed. I mean, when you look at what the UAW is asking for, these are, remember, the same workers who took pay cuts to keep these companies alive during tough times. And they've seen not just a decade where those companies raked in $250 billion in profit, but where their executives have given themselves pay raises every single year. Meanwhile, these UAW workers have gotten nothing. So it's not surprising that they'd be a little frustrated at that huge disparity.
Yeah, you're not going to get any argument from me on the fact that the auto companies need to give these folks a raise. You said that there's mad at corporate greed. A lot of that money for those pay increases is coming from our tax dollars because of how much the federal government is, our tax dollars, us, federal government, is subsidizing electric cars because they lose money when they make electric cars, which is sort of the divergence here, right? Because you've got Donald Trump's view of things. He says, look, I'm going to cut out the electric vehicle mandates and let people make gas-powered cars that are profitable. Or Joe Biden, who says, okay, I'm going to pay the car companies to make electric cars and then use tax subsidies to pay the workers even more. Again, I'm wondering why it is that these union workers are giving Donald Trump such a hero's welcome and their leader won't even meet with him.
Well, it doesn't appear those were actually union workers. I mean, this was a non-union plant he visited, and it appears from what reporters have found that these are mostly people he paid to go and hold signs. They were auto workers who didn't actually work at auto plants. They were union members who weren't actually in any union besides maybe the actors union. So it doesn't appear Donald Trump really has the courage to put this position before actual union auto workers because he knows exactly the response he's going to get.
Yeah, but Max, look, I hear you. You can't deny the fact that white working class voters that used to be reliably Democrat, okay? We're talking about coal workers in Pennsylvania. We're talking about coal workers in West Virginia. We're talking about auto workers in Michigan and Wisconsin. Those were the people who flipped and elected Trump in 2016, right?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. I mean, they're not wrong to point out that up until very recently, they haven't gotten a lot from Democrats. Bill Clinton promised a surge in union membership, and he gave us NAFTA. Barack Obama never put the PRO Act up for a vote after promising it. But the difference is in Joe Biden, he's done more than walk a picket line here. He's actually energized the National Labor Relations Board and put forward real rulings that are strengthening the labor movement. And workers recognize that. It's something you hear at every major labor event.
All right, I'll give you that. I mean, it must come as a surprise to some of them because we had a UAW member on at the beginning of this strike. She said she voted for Biden in 2020 and wouldn't vote for him in 2024 because of what he did to the rail workers and what he's doing to the auto workers with the EV mandates.
Well, remember, the railway contract did end up including the sick days and work time that were requested. It didn't come in the initial deal, but it did come in a further authorization that the president pushed for. I mean, between that, things like helping college athletes unionize, now giving unions more power to push back against anti-union harassment during votes, these are things Joe Biden can actually point to and say that he's delivered results in a way that no other Democrat has in decades.
All right. Max, you are always a good advocate. We're honored always to have you here. Thank you. Anybody would be lucky to have you speaking out for him. We'll talk soon, friend. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.